Philly Sports, Love and Pain. I'm Dave. That's In the Alley, RIP podcast trophy.
Did his shit get suspended?
Yeah, dude, he got suspended. He literally got kicked off Twitter.
That sucks because I have like 4 of my burners got suspended, so I get it.
Listen, what do you have to say to get kicked off of Twitter? Because I have logged into Twitter some days and I've been like, how is this not kicked off of Twitter status? Like, I don't even know.
One of them was I said it was okay to beat your children. That one did not go over well. I called someone a fatty in many other words, and that one did not go over well at all.
I have a feeling I have a feeling it was the other words, not the fatty word, that probably did you in.
Yeah, that is.
Didn't you also tell somebody to run in front of a bus?
I said that I wish ESP would get ran over by a bus, and then the bus would reverse and then go forward, and then reverse and then go forward. That got me a 10-day ban.
All right. Well, hey, welcome to the Eagles Roundtable. This is our 4th one, Kenny. This is our 4th Eagles season.
I've hated all 3 of them.
That's pretty crazy. And your dryer has been there for all of them.
Fuck. I got it.
Is it still on?
Yeah, it's on.
I actually can't hear it.
This should be the last week.
But anyway, welcome to the podcast. Special guest, Joe Spera, Mike, Gordo, and Jay.
Yep.
What's up, boys?
What's going on?
It's been a minute since we all been here together. I don't know the last time we were all here together, but it probably
pretty much a year.
It probably was this podcast, like this exact podcast.
Yeah.
So we have some topics that Kenny didn't read. We're gonna go through those, and we're gonna talk about the Eagles and what we think is gonna happen. And just like everybody else on the internet, you probably won't give a fuck what we say about what we think is gonna happen, but that's okay. We like to do it anyway. It's kind of what we do, and that's also what they do on the radio. Let's be honest. Sorry, I had to take a sip of my Buffalo Trace. I got lucky enough and I found this. This is not even expensive, but it's hard to get. And it doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's because there's a bourbon shortage. Is that still a thing?
I would not know.
Crickets.
I certainly haven't had any trouble getting some. So,
okay, well, there you go. Kenny, you're awfully quiet tonight. Are you wearing your podcast Crocs? Oh, wait for it. Wait for it. There it is. Are you muted?
Well, that makes more sense why I've been quiet. I've been talking a lot.
I was gonna say I've never heard Kenny this quiet at the beginning of a podcast, literally ever.
When I went to go get the dryer, my freaking chub hit it. my little tiny Peter.
Wow, I didn't know you were that excited about the Eagles Roundtable. But listen,
I'm not. I hate it.
So this is Kenny. Kenny despises doing this because I don't know why, but he just gets
ADHD, man. I'm just like this the whole time.
He gets all in his feelings about it. You know, he gets all Nick Wright on us.
I did call you the P word like 12. Fucking, we can say pussy, right? Can we allowed to say that?
Kenny, you can say whatever.
4 years now.
You can say whatever you want, dude. But you know, you're saying it, not me. No. Thank you for that. By the way, it was so nice of you to call me a pussy. But so yeah, we are here to talk Eagles, and today just so happens that was the roster release, and it was quite interesting. And I don't want to like ruin anybody's convo here, but when I'm just gonna start it off with this.
We go. Here we go. This man's sensitive about the roster release.
Listen,
what are you gonna do with 2 tight ends?
Listen, all I want to say that's part of it. Why? How only having 2 tight ends is kind of weird. Only having 3 running backs kind of is weird.
Well, what's that say about Saquon? They're
what's it say? What's it say?
All eggs.
Well, Saquon, what a Saquon, the fucking man of steel now all of a sudden?
He's an everyday.
He's not playing on the worst turf in the league anymore.
I know he's got a lot of bionic limbs and all that.
Behind the worst line in the league.
A lot of cadaver ligaments in those legs. I get that. Right, Kenny? You know all about that.
08. It's a tough time in my life.
Listen, all I'm saying is that the roster seems a little thin in certain spots. And who's the backup center? Is it Landon?
It has to be, right? He'll slide over.
I guess.
They like that Steen guy. I mean, he's not a center. That's not what I'm saying. So they would just slide, Landon over to center. I'm not worried about that because they'll call Jason week 11 and be like, come on back.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got that Amazon money.
Exactly. He can play for a vet minimum and have fun. 50 million reasons why he can come back.
Is anyone else here worried at all about the depth on tight end or O-line? Or running back.
O-line, yes. Tight end, no.
Okay.
I think tight end, you're gonna find one soon once all the cuts go through.
Okay, so you're going with their fact that they're
Jared Stoll can come back.
I saw Stoll got cut. Yeah.
Of course he got cut. He fucking sucked.
Well, what do you want to third out tight end to be? Friggin' Shannon Sharp?
They don't need. I wish. Can they get Chad Lewis back?
PE3. Shannon Sharp.
I'll take Unk right now, dude.
I was going to say I'll probably take Shannon Sharp literally right now.
O-line in general, yes.
Kenny.
I was just gonna say they're not gonna worry about a third tight end until they need to worry about a third tight end. That's just how it works. And a lot of tight ends got cut today. Like seriously, they'll pick up someone. They're not gonna go into the season with two. And honestly, after Goddard, it doesn't fucking matter because they stink. So
yeah, well,
I'm worried about tight end. I've been worried about tight end since the draft.
Ertz left.
You can't. Goddard's been hurt how many games in the last 2 years?
Way too many.
It's every year over 5.
And listen,
he will get hurt and he will miss games. And Calcaterra, it will be your TE1.
And listen, they like him. Apparently, he's had a good camp from all reports. Dotson makes a difference there, right? Like he picks up some of that slack. I was worried more before Dotson, but I don't like I don't like the tight end spot being that empty. I don't know, especially in an offense where you're mixing it up like that. Like the tight end's on the field a lot because you're not giving away whether you're running or throwing the ball. It's not like we're running this widespread offense with 7 receivers out there. I don't know.
No, it's usually 11 personnel, right?
Yeah. It's usually 11.
Also, just real quick, they kept 9 offensive linemen, which is the highest position besides DB at 11. So I don't know who you cut at DB to add another lineman, and whoever they cut on the line, probably doesn't deserve to be here. Would you agree?
I would say
I think
no.
they still have some depth there. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Some
of those guys are coming back. Like you're going to get
practice.
What a play! Sorry,
hey, it's okay. At least the game's over, so it's good.
No, I can watch it because I'm behind you. I like that.
That was fucking nice.
Yeah, Jay. By the way, I'm glad you made it on time. I was a little worried. I thought you weren't going to make it here on time.
Oh, I moved an appointment to give myself 2 hours. I've been chilling, getting ready.
Oh, there you go.
I set up my background. Look, I've been doing work over here.
I know. I see that. I got to get my wall set up. Mike, I know you're sitting over there quiet as fuck, but I know that you have some concerns about this roster. I know you do.
Kinda, little bit. But not really concerned about the tight end, so I will wait until we get to the hot takes.
Yeah,
Irv Smith Jr. got cut today.
Oh, mom. I mean, you might as well just hang the banner now.
I'm just saying, there's some options here.
I'm also quiet because I am currently looking at the roster because I forgot everything. So
that's okay. There's a lot of names on that roster.
Peyton Hendershot got cut today too.
The backup center. I know
What's his name? The dude who got drafted, 6th rounder.
Dylan McMahon.
Dylan McMahon, he got cut, but he'll probably be back on the practice squad.
Right.
So you think they
So-
might carry him on the practice squad, and then like if some kind of crazy shit happens, they might bring him in.
No doubt.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Because they were talking about he played a lot of snaps in the preseason at center. I don't see. I mean, it's listen. One thing about having a good offensive line is the better the offensive line, the bigger the drop off when it comes to depth.
Yep.
Especially when you have all this talent on offense. I mean, your depth is going to suffer pretty much everywhere.
I mean, I got to think that their wide receiver core is probably one of the best in the league.
Yeah, and they dumped like the whole draft into their defensive backfield.
So you know,
I mean, you're going to have it somewhere.
what are you laughing about?
Clark tweeted out earlier today, said, I don't have much tolerance for assholes tonight. And then someone said, unless it's a baddie. And he said, I don't know, no clue what a baddie is.
He's not even lying. Like he legit doesn't know what the fuck that means.
No, zero shot.
That fucking dude. I hope he loses forever.
Big John Kruk fan until Saturday when Penn State plays West Virginia.
Is he a West Virginia guy, eh?
Go Knits. He's from West Virginia.
Makes sense now.
Yeah, I would never have guessed that.
All right, so let's just dive in. Let's dive in. So I thought that we would talk about some things. And the first thing was obviously the way that the season ended last year was not the way that everybody had hoped it would. So that being said, the season ended like shit last year. What are you excited most for this year? And Kenny, me and you will go last. So we'll start with Mike.
Wait, real quick. I have one more thing to say. Have you noticed that whenever the Eagles play someone that they play in the regular season and then they play them in the playoffs, they always fucking lose?
I did not. I don't have the numbers on that.
Tampa Bay, and that year that the fucking year that they
what did it happen
Cardinals
twice?
on
And you're saying it
Thanksgiving.
always happens?
No,
Like,
I'm gonna look it up. Keep going. I have my answer for that. So continue on.
I mean, I can give you like just the math on it. Teams are likely to split. So if you play
Right.
any 2 games,
Yeah,
you're likely to get 1-1 records.
right. Like I can see like.
start dropping them, lose them all.
All right, so Mike, I'm going to you first because it's just the order on my screen. Disastrous last year ending. What are you excited about this year?
Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio.
Okay, coordinators.
Yeah. I just think last year with Brian Johnson, or not Brian Johnson. Was it Brian? No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Offense.
Brian Johnson and whatever the hell happened
Desai.
with the defense.
Yeah, Sean
Like
Desai
halfway
or
through.
whatever.
Terrible.
Matt Desai,
I
Sean
just think
Patricia.
I just think it'll be nice to have a new two people who actually know what they're doing at their respective positions. I think it'll breathe new life into an already well-established team.
Makes sense to me. I mean, you're kind of along the lines of what I'm going to say eventually, but yeah, I feel that, no doubt. Jay, what about you?
I hope I'm not stealing your thunder here, Dave, but I am really excited for some fucking defense is what I'm excited for. Listen, Kellen Moore, you can't do worse than they were doing last year. So like I expect an upgrade there, and with the talent, you would have to expect it's going to be a good time. But what I'm really excited about on the defense is that there's a ton of young guys basically everywhere. We have a secondary that's been completely remade in the last 365 days, and it looks like, well, I'm not going to jump into the point I really want to get to right now, but you have a bunch of young guys there that like are going to be competitive and want to be on the field. And it's been a long time since any part of the defense looked like that, let alone the secondary. Pumped about that. The linebackers, we start with this we start with this White signing, and everybody, it was like, all right, well, we got him, but who the hell's behind him? Dean had one of the best summers of anybody on the team. You pick up Trot, and you damn well know that everybody's rooting for that to happen. And there's just a lot of young depth kind of all over the board. Your defensive line, you're actually a little weaker on the outside than you've been in a long time in that spot. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, hope the Huff signing works out. And then you have a new coordinator who is not afraid to play around up front, send a blitz, send a stunt. And again, it's been a long time since we've seen something aggressive from this defense, and that's what I'm always excited about if I can be.
Philly loves defense, baby. Philly loves defense, and I am not one to shy away from loving some defense. So I'm telling you that. Joe, how about you?
Yeah, I can't argue with that. To narrow it in a little more of what Jay said, it's just defense, yes, for sure, but definitely Jalen Carter. Specifically Jalen Carter. I'm ready for him to dominate.
Hell yeah!
It's his second year, but I'm excited to see what he can do. He got a full season under his belt. He knows what kind of shape he needs to be in, and if he can wreck the way people think he can wreck, then it doesn't matter who's on the outside. If they're focusing on him, and Bryce Huff and Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham and Nolan Smith, Alex Hunt, whoever's going to be on the outside, it should be easy pickings. I mean, if you got to worry about Jalen Carter, even Jordan Davis, that means you're doubling Jalen. That means you're putting one person on that animal of a human being. The least they'll do is free up linebackers for run defense. I mean, he should be able to take care of business inside.
Yeah, the defensive side of the ball, especially up front, and even in the linebackers, shit. Like Jay just said, almost the entire defense is revamped. Like not only are we looking at a new coordinator on defense, but we have tons of new faces that we're going to see every day, every Sunday, on that defense, which is pretty cool.
The whole second and third level, pretty much.
Yep. And new schemes, all that stuff. So I'm going to stop talking, and Gordo, I will let you come into this piece and tell me, what are you most excited for?
So, I mean, it may be a little bit contrived because I'm going to go offense, but I am extraordinarily excited for Saquon in Eagles green. Like having a weapon like that back there changes absolutely everything that they do. You cannot just worry about, Jalen taking off. You got to worry about Saquon either getting a dump off pass or taking a handoff and breaking something. Even if he's not quite what he used to be, he's still Saquon Barkley. And there aren't many guys that move like him and do what he does. He is still elite, and his contract tells you they believe he is elite. So as far as that goes, realistically, that's where I'm looking. That's what I am most excited to see. That with a professional coordinator setting the table.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, I can't wait for Saquon. Listen, as a Penn State fan, this is
oh yes.
This is this is something that never happens, right? Like in your fandom, right?
And then Dotson too.
And Dotson, and you add Dotson,
and full on Penn State reunion, bro.
And listen,
Howie,
Mike brings
what are you doing?
I saw Trace just caught a body the other day on.
Dave, you had Miles Sanders, so not sure what you're saying there.
Yeah, and I didn't want to let him go.
Ooh, I was waiting for the first Miles Sanders drop. Note the time.
He got benched by Chuba Hubbard. Come on, man.
It doesn't have anything to do with it.
Oh my God.
Listen, is the running back good on his own, or is the running back good behind the offensive line that he runs behind?
Yes. What kind of question is that?
Okay, so what the fuck is Carolina?
Hot
Bro,
garbage.
he got benched for like a fucking
Okay,
7th round.
give me a
pick out
fucking
of
break.
Tulsa.
Give me a fucking break. You cannot, dude. I don't care if you put fucking OJ Simpson prime in the backfield in fucking Carolina.
Yeah,
Barry
here we
fucking
go.
Sanders. Put Barry
Dave
Sanders
just-
back
Dave,
there.
okay, Joe, why don't you chill, Joe G, you fucking hot take artist? What the fuck are you talking? You could put Barry Sanders.
Stop.
You could put
Who's running for 1,500 yards behind the fucking Carolina Panthers, dude?
I'm gonna make some.
I don't know why you had to put a murderer back there. What was that about?
That's what I'm saying.
That's alleged. That's
Allegedly.
Double jeopardy. Double jeopardy.
I wish he would have on his deathbed been like, I killed that bitch.
He wrote
Maybe
a
he
book.
did. Maybe he did. Didn't he write a book that said I did it?
If I did it.
If I did it.
If I did it. Oh. If
This is just
What a
fantastic.
guy.
This
What a
fucking
guy.
whatever. You got me all fucking.
I had to drop that in there.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. But Mike actually brings up this is a nice actually little side tangent before me and Kenny get to ours. Mike brought up something that he heard about Dotson that I'm curious to get some opinions on. Mike, you said that you heard a story that Dotson was a little bit of how should I put it, bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, about playing time and having to like earn a spot when the new coaching regime came in. So first of all, has anybody else heard of that? Second of
Who
all,
cares?
is there any concern?
No, he played for the fucking Commanders.
What's that mean?
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you.
That's not a real fucking franchise.
Jordy, at least he said Commanders.
I mean, I definitely
Lily,
Commend
Lily
you
could
for
be
saying
listening.
Commanders.
Lily, we could be listening.
Listen, they're the Commanders. They are.
She's 1% Cherokee.
That's fine. We probably all
That's not
1%.
true. She's 12.5%. Anyway,
Jack.
yeah, I mean, I did hear that from reporters. I think, like, I don't think that's a rumor. I think that's real.
No.
That was reported. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, am I really worried about some guy who doesn't get along with Dan Quinn? Probably not.
Here's the thing. He should be the number 2 on the Commanders with Terry would be the 1, right?
Yeah, Scary Terry.
There's no fucking blurred lines here. You come to the Eagles, you have a chance to win a Super Bowl. He's not going to care about, 38 catches, 450, 500 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
He better
You know what
not.
I mean? Like,
He's like the 5th option.
well, I don't know, right? Like,
Okay, so this is
AJ, Devontae, Goddard, and probably Saquon.
yeah, but I mean,
Sometimes
Saquon's
Saquon's
really not going to get the ball above 3rd down, right? They're not gonna.
what do you mean above? What do you mean above 3rd down? What the fuck does that mean?
Before 3rd down,
like passing situations?
I don't
He's
know.
gonna-
He catches passes.
I know
He's
he
pretty
catches, but I'm just saying, if we're throwing to Saquon on 1st and 2nd, something bad has happened.
Something's wrong. Yeah.
Yeah,
not,
so,
like,
like,
he's not covered.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that makes sense. I think you're going to be surprised by. We haven't had a 3rd wide receiver in a decade.
I mean, come on, let's stop. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. We haven't had a fucking 1 wide receiver until like 2 fucking years ago.
But that's my point. Like, who was the last?
Come on,
good
Alshon. Give Alshon
slot?
some love.
Yeah,
All right.
that's fair.
Alshon was a 1.5.
Can we clarify? Do you mean a 3rd or a slot? Because they're a little different, and I just want to know what you're pointing at.
That's actually a good point because I don't think he's going to play slot.
Dotson?
Yeah.
Well,
No.
where's he going to play then?
He's
I
gonna
don't
play.
think so.
He's gonna play slot.
I think they're gonna.
Covey's
I think
your
they're gonna
slot?
use. I think they're gonna use him. No, I think they're gonna use him and Smith in the slot. They're gonna
That's
switch them
fine.
out.
Yeah,
It's-
I think
Kellen
he'll play
Moore
more
is
slot than
known-
anything.
You can't even
Kellen
really
Moore
fucking
moves guys
predict
around.
it because but I mean, like, we don't know. We have no idea.
Okay, well that brings me to my next argument. Why the fuck do we not know? Are you
Because
guys
they
okay?
refuse to play anyone.
Are you guys okay with that?
No,
I don't know.
Not at all.
Jay
I'm
and I go back and forth. all
Okay,
the
so
fucking
Jay is okay. Who's okay? Raise your hand. 2. All right, that
time.
makes
I'm
about
here.
That's about sense. That makes about sense though. 2 out of 6. Like,
I just want to see a fucking drive. My fucking God.
is it
It
that
won in
bad?
Sao Paulo, bro.
Is it that bad to want to see a fucking half?
But see,
No, it's not bad to
the
want
other,
to see
the
it.
other fucking
I
side
want
of
to
it
see it.
is Jalen Hurts blows his fucking ACL out in a meaningless preseason game. We would all be fucking.
What's
I
interesting
don't-
though is I think goes back to the coordinate. Like Fangio played starters in preseason games.
He did.
Yeah,
Kellen
but that
Moore did
defense
not.
got fucking whooped. They should have been running fucking suicides the whole game on the sidelines.
He did
Fucking
play them
bums.
though. They did play.
So I don't
Yeah.
think it's like a team mentality thing. I think it's
If I
divvy
hear
up.
one player or coach after the fucking first week talk about
Mm.
any kind of fucking lack of
JJ,
like
sorry.
fucking readiness, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed off, even if they win.
Jay, tell me.
Yeah,
Tell him
I mean,
what you told me on Saturday. Tell him what you told me. Tell him. That's
Little old school Dane Cook there. So you just talking about like the last 2 years?
yeah, what you said.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't played anybody for 3 years, and the first game out, both of the last 2 seasons, you won. So
Mhm.
like, when are you? Why? What? You don't have an argument. There isn't a logical argument for playing your players. Now, I also think they're going to go down to Sao Paulo and lose. So like, you could make you can make an argument after week 1, or after week 1, you're really not going to have a fucking argument. So like, I'm not opposed to keeping your players healthy. It's not about how you start the season. It's about how you finish. We learned that last year. Like, I'm just okay with it. I mean, if they lose a game or two, they lose a game or two. I want to
So-
be good in week 17.
So in other
They-
words, you are okay with the scheduled loss theory.
It's not a scheduled loss. They're 2-0 in those games. So
Okay.
I was gonna say they're 2-0, but it didn't feel like they won. I remember watching both games.
They labored. They labored versus
Yeah,
Patriots.
and I would
Yeah.
rather see them come out ready to go than like just boring, which was the past 2 years because they didn't know what was happening.
just cancel
long
the
as it ends up in
preseason
the right
and do
column.
inter scrimmage.
That's fine.
Also, I mean, don't you think it matters? Like, I go back and forth on this. Like, if you argue like who they played, right? Like, it was the Vikings twice in the first 2
No.
weeks. I'm pretty sure.
Now,
Yeah,
Vikings have
It
been
was
the
the
first-
Lions.
it was the Lions and Vikings. Well,
Lions, Vikings, New England.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And they won.
So it's like, I don't know, whatever. You can kind of go back and forth and argue.
But there was
I-
no reason to come out against the Patriots and not hang 35. You know what I mean? The Patriots fucking stink.
Well,
So,
the reason, but
win
it
is
wasn't.
a win is a win.
But wasn't
yeah,
the
I was just
reason?
gonna say.
But wasn't the reason because they didn't practice in like real game? Isn't
Well,
that
no,
the
that's
reason?
what I mean. Yeah, I'm playing like both sides of it. Like I see both sides of it, but at the end of the day, the results drive the results. That made no sense. The results drive the argument.
Yeah.
So like they're 2-0. You can't argue it. You can't. I mean, you can. It's just
2-0
it
and
doesn't really
2-0
matter.
and what?
Well, they're 2-0 in their
last
first
season.
games, and I'll take it a step further for you.
Not 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, they were like fucking 1-5.
No.
Sirianni's first year.
In first games, after not playing in the preseason,
In
they're
first
2-0.
games, they
they're
are 3-0. 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah.
I'll take it a step further. They've also been the healthiest team in the NFL for the last 3 years. So
That's because they got a new
you
smoothie
really
guy.
don't have an argument.
What did health get them last year?
Come on.
Okay.
That's-
They gone to the Super Bowl year before.
That's not the same.
The health argument is really good actually. But you know what? The other side of that coin though was their bye weeks. Like
we're fucked.
their bye week, their
They
bye
got a
weeks,
bad one this year.
their bye weeks the last 2 seasons. I think it was week 7 and week 10, which are
It was late
basically
last
perfect bye weeks. So some of the health I would think you would attribute to the bye week. Yeah.
What do you mean? The
Well,
first week of
I mean-
October isn't great.
You think, yeah, like week 5 is not the same as week 10, guys, right?
They've also changed their philosophy as far as like how they practice. Like we're talking about this, do you play your starters in the preseason? But that's not even really the biggest change they've made. They've been every third day, they won't practice 3 days in a row.
Yeah, that's
every
true.
third day they take off. And there have been like 0 soft tissue injuries. So again, like I don't want to even take apart the recipe for how they've stayed healthy. They've stayed healthy and they've been ready to go. And I'm good with that.
So then, okay, so like let's just take that like just one level further. What's the point of the preseason?
There is none. Sell tickets. Make
Oh,
money. TV.
Well,
The bottom 10 spots on the roster.
Yeah, that's what I
And
was
the
gonna
bottom
say.
10
Shape out
spot.
your roster.
43 to 53, exactly.
Yeah, but okay, so like, do you if you know what you have in your starters in practice, don't you know what you have in 43 to 53 in practice too? I guess what I'm getting at is why does the NFL even keep preseason?
Oh,
They should,
tickets.
they should
Yeah.
do.
Well, money, yeah. It's
Tickets,
what
TV, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you guys
TV
watch a
con-
full? Did you guys
No.
TV? You guys watch? Did you guys any of you watch a full preseason game this year?
No.
Watch some of them.
Right, but you that's what I'm saying. So like how much could it be about TV?
No,
I
it's
don't
about concessions. It's all about
It's
stadiums.
about all of
That's-
it.
Uh-oh.
Dave's so
No.
pissed he
we
left.
just lost Dave. We just lost Dave.
His goddamn brick cellar fucked him. He's Asian wine down there in his fucking brick cellar.
He's getting Kyle Sanders jersey.
God damn it! I thank God because I did not want to.
There you are.
This shit. Fuck.
I
I don't
hit
get paid enough.
the hate button by accident. Sorry,
Yeah, 'cause
So
you were
the-
mad.
The inter
I'm not
squad
mad. I'm not mad.
scrimmages
Fucking
that they do.
preseason.
Right?
I love
the
them.
practices. That is where the work gets done, and that's where you're seeing that's where
Bradbury
there's
get
contact.
burned
That's where
by
you start-
backup tight end.
Correct.
Mhm.
That's where you're seeing what's actually going to come out in the wash. Those are way more intense. I think I was watching the Bears behind the scenes thing. Dude, like
Oh yeah,
those
the,
inter squad
what's it called?
scrimmages
Hard
are
Knocks.
way more intense than the actual games.
So all right,
People are going through
so
the motions for those games.
bottom line is, I just need to change how I care about preseason.
Pretty much.
It's fine. I'm capable.
Listen, if the union has their way, I'd be willing to bet the next giant TV contract that they negotiate, we might only have 1 or 2 preseason games because the players don't
Scale
want
it
them.
down to 3. Add week.
Well, you
18.
just we add another actual week,
Another
and
bye.
then because
They could do 2
previous
buys.
TV
They could do
contract,
2 buys.
Dude,
buys.
2 buys would be like, and then you could honestly do
As
it
we
where like
did.
the first buy has to be within the first X amount of weeks, and the
Yeah.
second buy can't happen
First 9,
before
second 9.
X amount of weeks.
First 9
I
games.
would actually fucking love that.
well, if they expand the league and add another couple teams like they keep talking about,
Ugh,
I mean,
I don't want that.
I don't want that either. But if they do, I mean, how can they not give these guys and these teams an extra buy in there? You know,
No,
Oh,
they
yeah.
Who-
if
Wait,
they got a
real
game,
quick.
they will.
You can't go 18
Who's the,
without an extra bye.
who's the leading contender to get a franchise? Seriously, does anyone know?
St. Louis.
Probably.
Boo.
I was-
Next, you got
I
another
was
one?
going to sit England.
Where?
I think they'd like to go overseas.
Fuck, you're fucking right.
I think they'd like to go overseas.
Mexico.
They've been
you
sending the
can't- you
they've been
can't-
sending the Jaguars for a fucking decade. They're like, we're sick
Well,
of it. Give us our own big cat, and we'll run it.
And if you
somewhere in
send teams
Canada.
over there, yeah, or somebody up there.
do you
Toronto.
guys do you think it
Toronto.
would work? Do you think it would work if they
Saskatoon.
put a team in fucking England?
No,
If coming back, that team gets a bye.
What do you mean, would it work? Do they give a fuck about what would work? They're trying to make money, bro.
Right,
That's what
right,
all
right.
How
this
much
shit's
more money?
about.
How much more money can they fucking make, dude?
Apparently, a
more.
lot.
Dave, they're going to Brazil.
Yeah, really, we're going to Brazil.
Yeah,
we're going
on
to be
a-
lucky
on-
half our
into
team
a
doesn't
stadium
come out
where
with
you're not
Zika.
where like green is.
And
an
we can't
enemy
wear
fucking
green.
color.
Yeah, right. Fucking.
They send
They-
2 green teams.
they picked a game that Eagles fans have had circled on their calendar for the last like 4 years too. Like I was like, the Packers are going to be here in 2024. You know what I mean? Like fuckers. They
Well,
couldn't
listen.
take the goddamn fucking Cowboys.
I'll make that up to you. We're going to Lambeau next year. So whoever wants to
Yeah,
come,
I know.
we're going to Lambeau next year.
Ooh, I kind of like that.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
We had tickets the last time, and then fucking COVID happened.
I kind of like this plan.
You're not invited.
Oh, fuck you. Anyway, Kenny, tell me what you're most excited about, you fuckhead.
The Sixers.
Touchdown. Definitely not the Sixers. Fucking hate the Sixers. I'll watch, but I hate the Sixers.
Oh yeah, here we go.
We can't infiltrate this podcast with the Sixers. We can't do it.
You want to get going on the Sixers? I'll fucking talk. I'll talk about the goddamn fucking Sixers.
Like he wasn't all fired up at the playoff game at PJ's during the draft. Glued to the screen.
In my defense,
Totally glued. Every shot, every rebound.
I was fucking hammered. Okay, so I need a little grace. All right,
Those
I
chicken-
hotboxed my
those
truck
chicken
all the way
sandwiches.
down.
Those chicken sandwiches though were good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, they were
That's my
fucking
favorite kind.
great.
Those buffalo chicken sandwiches. Oof.
Yeah, they were Nashville.
By the way, did you say PJ's? It was McGurk's, right?
No, it was McGurk.
Yeah, okay.
McGurk.
Let's not give credit to fucking PJ's.
That's my fault. That's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, okay.
No,
All right.
McGurk.
No, I'm you for 10.
McGurk. It's like what's it called? Around the horn. McGurk's Horsham shout out. All right, Kenny.
I know him. He might sponsor us.
Well, fucking talk to him. What are you waiting for? We spend our own money on this fucking shit.
I'm trying to finish out his fucking construction job before I go. Good with money.
2 hands, huh? So, Kenny, what are you excited about?
I serious touchdowns. They're gonna be fucking. They're gonna score 30 points a game. What? What? Like if I did this, it'd be embarrassing. I don't know what he's got. You know, I might have to double bag it. I don't fucking know. I'll do what I
Right,
got to
so-
do to get it done.
Kenny, don't forget the balls, Kenny.
Kenny, didn't they score? Didn't they score a bunch of touchdowns last year too?
Nah, I still need him. I want more. I love it with Barkley and fucking Dot. It's all Penn State, baby. I'm Penn State it up until they lose the inevitable game to fucking.
No, don't
West
do that.
Virginia.
Iowa.
Don't. No, my God, Jay, stop. it.
Boinking.
Jesus Christ. We're gonna do a Penn
Virginia,
State podcast
Texas,
because I'm
Alabama.
gonna have the Penn State people in here, and we will talk about Penn State, but not today.
No, honestly, I just think the offense is just going to be so electric. You remember the first year of Chip Kelly, and remember that first game with Michael
Oh,
Vick?
dude. Oh my
How
God,
was
dude.
there.
fucking like just like
Washington, I was
the
there.
You were
greatest thing
there?
ever.
No shit. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
The perfect
Wild.
start.
Oh
So
God, that
that's
game,
what I'm excited about. Just fucking touchdowns all around the board. Just fucking 35 points a game.
that game was fucking electric, dude.
Dude, when he
Have you ever
threw
gone
that,
back
like,
and just watch that? Like,
I
just go
want-
back
I
and watch
want
it.
to. I want to.
Sometimes, if you just need to like feel good, you go back and watch that
Yeah.
first half.
yeah, you had a tough day, throw that bad boy on. You'll be all right.
Mhm.
So the Eagles scored 46 touchdowns last year. 2 years ago, they scored 57.
What's the whoa? They were down.
Majorly down
Makes
by
sense. That's
they were
why
down
didn't go
they
to
were down by
fucking-
11.
They were a
That's why
better
they got
team 2
fucking-
years ago by a lot.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
What's do you have? Never mind. This is gonna put you on the spot. But anyway, do you have a league average?
No.
What do you think it would be? Like seriously, like you think it's like 50s?
I'll find it.
No.
I know.
No, not that
Lower
high.
than
I would say it's probably it's around 40 is my guess.
45.
37.5.
Are you guessing?
Wow, that's low.
Yeah. Like, how'd I know that?
Okay, got it. I was giving you
If
credit, Kenny.
If it's 37.5, we're gonna go get some scratchers.
That was incredible. Joe was like, "Damn, that's pretty low."
I was in. I was cool. It was like 1974.
Oh fuck, that was funny as shit. I don't know. I'll try to find it. That's kind of a weird. That's a weird stat.
If you need to get B down here to be your producer, she can just look these up for you.
Yeah. Hey Jamie,
We
look this up.
should. Jason, you want a job?
Jamie,
We can
look
pay
this.
you nothing.
We can pay you nothing.
Talk about looking that up. I'm already on it.
Well, the most scored ever by a team was 76, and that was the Broncos.
How many did the Patriots score that year that hit Tom Brady and Moss had, like-
75.
Yeah, I was gonna say. They
Yeah,
had to have a fucking lot.
I'm fine. Jason, you can keep looking. I found some things, but I can't find the thing. So yeah, for me, I'm kind of split between both sides of the ball. I'm stoked about having 2 new coordinators, like Mike said. The inept shit that this team did last year at times on both sides of the ball was just so fucking frustrating. And to think that we now have, I mean, Kellen Moore is not like fucking Lombardi, right? But he has run a real legit offense in the NFL for multiple years. So
I'm excited to not be able to predict, hopefully, what's coming next every single play.
right, and I'm excited to have Jalen Hurts under center once in a while. I'm excited to see some fucking pre-snap motion. I'm excited to see some fucking exotic fucking just some creativity. Like, so that's on that side. Fangio on the other side, like Jay said, dude is not afraid to be aggressive. He retooled the linebacking core and the D-backs to really fit the way that he wants to defend. And I think the fact that you have a guy who's aggressive like that, and from all accounts is like a hard ass, right? Like a hard coach, but he got these younger guys, and these younger guys I feel like they're more malleable. Like we might see issues like Jay with sleu. We might see issues with that. We might see issues with the guys who are a little older where Fangio gets in their ass and he's like, fuck you. Like that kind of shit might happen. We might not see it, but I think that that's something that we should be a little concerned about is the older generation of players, not really latching on to Fangio's hard-nosed style. But I'm fucking excited to see them play defense. Jalen Carter, the defensive line, a fucking linebackers, like linebackers that can actually make some plays. Fuck, I can't wait. I want to see that. And I think that's more why I'm so pissed off about the preseason. It's because I want to see what they're doing. Like they have all these new coordinators, they have all these new guys, and we know nothing. So it's frustrating. But whatever, that's just me.
Could be worse.
Could be worse than me. All right.
So I have a guesstimate for you on touchdowns.
Okay.
StatMuse will not give me the last 7 teams because they're dicks and want me to pay them. But
yeah.
Use the podcast money.
The average of the top 25 teams is 42.72. So you could figure around the average for the league is 40, I would say. So
I'm seeing the average for touchdowns per game is around 2.5. So, you can extrapolate and come out with almost exactly 40. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess it would be 42.
42, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll see. Kenny's excited about touchdowns. That's all I know. So let's do this. Now we're going to move into the next section, which is hot takes. And I know there's going to be some bangers on this one. And I might even have to download the video now because we might have to post these videos or something. I don't know. It's a lot of fucking work. Talking about a producer. We need a fucking producer to fucking cut these videos. All right. So Eagles hot take for the season / surprise great player / surprise terrible player. Any or all. All right. We're going to start with Gordy. Make sure you come off mute before you talk because you're muted. And
thank you for that.
I say that 12 times a day. So it's okay.
So hot take. This one's going to go to the defensive side of the ball. It's going to be a little bit different.
I can't wait to shred your hot take, you piece of shit.
Kenny's fucking spicy tonight.
Do it, dude.
The diarrhea.
I think by the end of the season, I think Reed Blankenship will have had himself a great year and will have ended up being basically a star on D.
You
Reed
say it with a
Blankenship.
straight face. You
Shred
can't.
white lightning. They can't shred white lightning. Fuck.
Let me ask you.
Listen,
Mike,
I heard
Mike, you've played some Madden, right? Like, does Blankenship have a star?
I don't think so.
Is he a star player?
yeah.
It w-
He's going
Gordy,
to.
Gordy,
That's
this is a
2020.
fucking-
Going
Next
26.
one. Next
That'll
one.
be
he's
an
gonna have a
that'll be an
star.
update mid-season.
Gordy,
Okay.
I can
Might not
promise
even be a
you that you're
starter.
not stealing anyone's thunder on this Blankenship.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think so. So
I
heard
love
an
it. I love it though. I fucking love this.
too. I want a deep cut. I heard it. I heard an interview with the guy, and I was just like, "You want to talk about somebody that's fired up to play for Vic Fangio, dude?" The way he was talking, he's like, "I have never had an old school coach
Okay.
break things down and tell you, here's where you need to be. This is what you need to do. Go do it." The way that he does, and I mean, it sounds so simple, but when you think about it, as a pro, I mean, who's he had as his defense coordinators?
Ooh.
Idiots.
Even when they went to the Super Bowl, it wasn't like we were sitting there going like, "Yeah, that guy's a great genius." Like he might have gotten a head coaching job out of it.
Jonathan Gannon was.
I don't speak his name, but yeah, that guy. Come on, like, look,
Benedict
Wait, you don't
fucking
think-
Arnold.
You don't think
You
had
wanted a
the
hot
lead
take?
coordinator at Minnell, Tennessee State University? Are you sure?
I'm thinking I probably could have approximated what that guy did. Maybe not.
Reed.
I
All
don't know.
right.
What a-
Gordy
Reed
coming
Blankenship
out.
turns
Gordy
into a
coming
star.
out of
How
the
about
gate hot with Reed Blankenship on the
Yeah, why not?
No, listen, I like it. I like it.
I mean, look at his neck.
He's got a thick ass neck.
It
That's
looks like a slong.
that's not natural, dude.
He kind of looks like a
You can't
penis. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't it?
If
Yeah,
you if he tried to hit you and like you missed or something, would you talk shit and be like, yeah, okay, penis neck?
Yo,
Would you, like,
fat neck.
would you whip that out as a trash talk? Like what? Did you guys? This is a sidetrack. Did you guys ever do the weight room and they had that fucking the neck machine where you like were lifting like this, like the plate like went to your head like this and you're like fucking pushing the plate like this? That dude probably did that for fucking hours. That is a lot of neck workout right there. All right,
Good for him.
that's enough. Joe Sparrow, hot take. I'm assuming Gordy didn't take yours.
a lot of neck work. Oh, that's good stuff. Hot take. I think you're going to see above average linebacker play. Only because I have it's a mixture of hope and excitement towards the middle of our defensive line.
Yes.
Is that a hot take considering the hot fucking garbage that was Nicholas Morrow and who was the other fucking scrub?
Well, I'm not
Cunningham?
saying like by above average. I mean like
You mean like with the league?
compared with the league.
Oh,
Not be,
okay.
I mean, if you put me, you, and Dave out there,
Yeah.
4-3. I mean, that'd be weird, but it's be
The Bears,
we got
Bears
a large
defense.
4-3 linebacker core.
yeah. I mean, like that's the only way you can get worse. So I'm not saying above average compared to last year. I'm saying with the league. I'm
I
not
love
saying
Was
it's
that
like
like a top 15 unit?
a top 15 linebacker core, top half. But
Have they ever?
it's going to have that. It's going to have their talent to do with it for sure. But I think their defensive line is going to open up a lot of opportunity for them in the run game, and I think Dean White and I think eventually Todd Jr. is going to get on the field a lot in the second half of the season. But I don't think Fangio would let Howie go into the season with linebackers that can't cover. Because if you're going to play for Fangio, you're going to have to cover because he's not shy playing man.
Well, he's gonna do a lot of fucking weird like cloud blitzes and fucking
You're going to see Nolan Smith dropping back into coverage once in a while when he's on the field. You're going to see you're going to have to cover. And I don't think Fangio would let. I don't think. Well, Howie's too smart to sign and draft these guys without having Fangio's input because they have to cover. You can't be a linebacker in his scheme and not be able to cover just a little bit.
You know who had fucking good linebacker play, dude? He was talking about linebackers last year. The Jets were fucking like elite at linebacker, like elite.
Well,
And
CJ Mosley is like one of the best to do it.
Yeah, I mean it goes nowhere for them, right? Like Mosley and Williams, like nasty, just nasty. So like if we could get even like a touch of like a semi-elite linebacker play, like oh my god, dude, when's
Joe, help me because so I have some feelings about the linebackers too, but I'm curious about like who you are. What is your like top three? Like who do you expect this play to come from?
Devin White.
Okay.
And in terms of honestly, the run defense, linebacker wise, is as long as you hit. I'm pretty convinced that they should just have to hit the right hole, and that's it. Like the gap they're assigned to is going to be open just because of Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. That's how much faith I have in them in terms of swallowing up linemen and not letting them get to the second level. Covering, Dean's athletic, and plus I talked a lot of shit about the Eagles wanting to draft Nakobe Dean, so I need him to start doing something because I talked a lot of shit.
I'm right there with you, dude.
I'm like, the whole draft, I was like, better fucking take Nakobe Dean. And I think Trotter Jr. is going to come along. He's smart. He's got an eye for the ball, and they're way more athletic than years past. And I think, nobody can cover anybody for a certain amount of time. You have to get home pressure. But I think to be able to do the job in terms of covering tight ends for little enough for pressure to get there. But I think you're going to see a lot of people in a lot of different rotations in the field, and I think they're all going to do an adequate job in terms of covering stuff in a run. Maybe creating a turnover here and there. I think it's just going to be like night and day compared to previous years.
So Jay, you sounded like, I'm not sure if you're up or down on the linebackers, but you could probably roll into, you can kind of talk on that a little bit if you want, and then just roll into your, your answer.
Yeah. So actually my great player and my shit player for this year are both in the linebacking core, kind of. I agree with Joe. I think you're going to get better play than you expect from your linebackers, and it's about damn time. I think they've all
the last 2 years.
Yeah, I believe that. I think they're all. Again, you have a bunch of young guys there. Like I think they're going to play differently than they've been playing. We're not signing veterans and hoping that they're going to like be better than they have been. But I think I'm looking at Nakobe Dean. I think that he is the type of player where like he had to go through it. He had to understand the game at the NFL level. He had like his advantage has always been his head. And when you're going to a new system, when you're going to a new level, you don't just jump right into that. And I think that playing on instinct for him this year is what it's going to look like. And I hold out a lot of hope for what he's going to look like in this defense. I'm pretty excited about Dean right now. We'll see. In a retraction from last year of sorts, I don't think that Nolan Smith is the guy that I thought he was. And I don't think that really is like shade at Nolan Smith. I think he wants to be. I don't think he really has the tools. I think that he's a try hard. He's a high motor guy. He's a lot of things that like you want out of a player. But I think I've seen enough when it comes to his lack of development in 2 years that like I'm genuinely worried that he's going to kind of slowly fade into the background here. And we're all going to be talking about Nakobe Dean and other players, and I don't think we're not going to be up in an uproar about it, but I think that pick winds up looking more like a bust than a boom. My
Brandon
hot
Graham
take,
career.
yeah, I mean, I would love
Brandon
that.
Graham was like shit the first 4 years.
You're right.
Game was too quick for him. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying you're wrong. And I've actually, someone else made that comparison, and I hope so. Yeah.
I mean, Billy Davis, that partially was Billy Davis's fault. Not exactly the best defensive corner we had for a rookie to come into.
Yeah. Man, that was a long time
True.
ago. Fuck. That guy's still on the team. That's crazy.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Way to go, bud.
Yeah. Listen, you can mark your calendars by the middle of February of 2025. It will probably be the last time you ever see an Eagle wear 55. So
I think that's
I agree with that.
yeah.
I agree with that.
My Eagles hot take for the season, since I've given you my great, my bad. Darius Slay is not finishing the season at starting quarterback.
There he is.
There it
I've been
is.
waiting for this. I've been waiting for it.
There it is.
Yeah.
All
Listen.
right, good night, folks. That's all I came for.
Who's taking the spot? Who's taking the spot, Jay?
I mean, there's a bevy of players that could
Close
take
your
his
eyes
spot.
and pick anybody.
Cooper DeJohn.
John?
Yeah, I think they're going to use him down low a little bit more. I think he's going to start looking like Troy Polamalu down there, if I'm being honest. But yeah,
Buchanan type deal.
yeah. Listen, I think Slay's at that age where you start to lose a step. He's also a bitch, so like that's a different thing. But and his wife. No, I won't talk about his wife. It's fine. But yeah, I think you're going to see him start to lose a step. I think you got a lot of hungry corners behind him. A lot of these corners, there's a variety, right? You have your first round draft pick who like is supposed to be a zone fiend, right? This guy's a ball hog. He's going to be all over the shit, right? And then you have someone who's on the opposite end of the spectrum who is just as young in Eli Ricks, who's sticky as hell. And by the way, I'm not mentioning the 3 or 4 guys in between those guys that could take Darius Slay's spot. It's hard to do. I don't know if you see like a Vic Fangio bench your starting cornerback. So I think Howie could just do everybody a favor and trade him before the season starts.
What would you put the chances of that at? Like about 5?
Nah, it should have happened already. So yeah, it's pretty low, but
yeah, no, I actually think that you're kind of onto something. I know that you have a different level of hatred for Darius Slay than me or most, but
maybe all,
maybe even all. But I could totally see that coming true for sure. Mike. And we talked. I saw Mike on Saturday at the weirdest concert ever. And I say that because, someone basically died
Yeah,
at the show. It was the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
it was gnarly. They had to evacuate the entire floor. Paramedics, CPR, AED.
you talk about Aaron West and the Roaring 20s.
Yeah, were you there?
No, I just saw your things and I narrowed it down because
It was like a festival, so there was a bunch of bands, but yeah,
Okay.
they were one of them.
Yeah, but Aaron West was in there, and a dude literally fucking like died on the floor, dude. I don't know if he got hit or just had a medical situation.
Side note, I saw it was a seizure. So
Oh,
Okay, so the dude was like dead. They were doing CPR and the whole 9 yards. It was not good. But he was breathing, and then he left, and then they started the show back up, and everything was fine.
shout out to that guy.
did he survive? Do we know if he survived?
I don't know. I mean,
From
he was
what I
alive when he
saw-
left.
In like groups I'm in, yeah, he did.
I hope so. Fuck, that
That's
would be
great.
terrible.
Yo, get him on the pod.
Yeah, let's get this guy in here. Does he like sports at all?
Oh Jesus!
He's actually from the Fired Up podcast.
But he's in the alley.
He's in the alley.
Oh,
Kenny,
Jesus.
Hold on, Mike. Kenny. You're gonna have to change your your team name because In the Alley is no longer.
Yeah, I'm
Although
gonna
he
do,
did make another account, so
did he?
yeah, he did.
I'm gonna do Ernie the Cow, whatever his is. That's gonna be
Mike,
my name.
Mike, you got a shout out. Look at that. Mike got a shout out of no one else got a shout out except for Mike. Paul
What up,
Dorenzo.
Paulie D?
Paul Dorenzo. I will be playing with Paul Dorenzo in a Rolling Stones cover band tomorrow night at Tom and Jerry's. It's true.
Shout out.
All right.
Anyway, Mike, go ahead.
Look up Heckle.
My hot take is that Saquon is going to be a bust due to injury.
All right,
I don't
guys.
think he's
Here
staying
we
healthy
go.
the
Let's
whole-
go.
I don't think he's staying healthy the entire
Oh,
season.
dear.
He's had 8 injuries since being in the NFL, and he's 27.
Are you fucking
So.
stupid?
I mean, no, he knows how to do math.
Fuck.
I don't
Oh,
think
you
he's
just
staying
don't want that out in the world. Is that what you're? Is that what
No, no.
All of it.
So
He
all I got.
they played at the fucking worst stadium known to mankind. ACLs go to die there.
Yeah, but
As-
once you
as
tear
well
his
as
Achilles
ACL,
tendon.
once you
Achilles
tear it,
tendon.
it's, you know.
I haven't torn mine again.
Yeah, Kenny's definitely a high athletic specimen.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Did you play
obviously-
Division II collegiate sports? No.
did you play Division II
Yeah.
collegiate sports after you
No,
I
pulled
did.
your
it was
ACL?
a club
Yeah.
team. Get out of here, Kenny.
Member of society, baby. I played college sports. No one on this podcast can fucking say it, bitches. Half of you didn't even go.
Okay,
Pussies.
listen. You want to talk about that? You want to go down this rabbit hole?
No, I'm okay.
Let's do it. No, anyway, Mike, we're stealing your thunder. So you think that Saquon is a bust?
God damn it, Mike.
Yeah, I wasn't. I
Like
gotta be
his
honest with
whole
you,
contract, Mike, or just this year?
I just wasn't as excited about the signing as everyone else. I just have a gut feeling that I don't think his whole contract, but this year.
Okay.
And he's only getting older. So you add that and how injury prone he is. I don't know if it's great, but we'll see. It's a hot one.
Everybody,
Thanks
you
for nightmares.
just like pissed on everyone's Wheaties.
Told you. I told you in the car, Dave.
I mean, listen, here's the thing with it, right? It's hard to argue against, like kind of like the schedule argument, right? Like, as far as like the preseason thing, like playing preseason, like, yeah, but they win. Okay. Well, Saquon, but he gets injured. But then you have but he played at MetLife. I don't think all of his injuries came in MetLife. I don't have those stats in front of me right now. But I feel like I remember seeing that not all of his injuries came at MetLife. So yeah, I mean, it's a concern. I mean, how can you not be concerned about it? It was the first thought I had when they signed him. I'll be honest. You know?
Yeah. And then I think Cam Jurgens is going to have a better year than expected at center. And I gotta agree with Jay that I think Slay is going to be terrible. I'm a Slay hater anyways, so there might be no backup to that besides like my personal hatred towards him. But I hope he has a turn.
Do you think that so you mentioned Cam Jurgens, right? Do you think that he's kind of like in a no-win situation?
What do you mean? Like
Because I do. In terms of Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's always going to get compared to Kelsey and what Kelsey was, and I don't think he's going to be that. I don't think he's ready to be that, but
right.
I think he's. I don't think
it's
better year. I think he's going to have a better year than expected.
And I don't think it will happen. Guarantee it, and just write it on the calendar right now. And 94 and fucking 97.5 and whatever else, Philly fucking podcasts, all those, every podcast, every place that you can find it, it will come up that he is not Travis. He's definitely not Travis. He's not Jason Kelsey, and it's not fair. And it's going to happen to him, and it's bullshit, to be honest. And I think that he's got a no-win situation. He there's almost nothing he can do this year to get like accolades in Philly. I'm sorry, he just won't. That's just what I think. I don't know.
I mean, in his defense, and I know you're already in his defense, but you're not supposed to play center and get accolades.
That's fine.
That's not something that happens, bro.
That's fine. That's fine. And that's
Best thing that
true.
could happen to him is
And
being ignored.
and Jason Kelsey is probably like one of the only centers that anyone could even fucking name, other than like Jeff Saturday. Is there anybody else?
Chuck Benderek.
There you go,
Got it.
Chuck Derrick. Exactly. like you're not naming centers. You know what I mean?
Creed Humphrey. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah. Anybody else got any more centers?
Honey Buns.
Centers.
Hank Fraley.
Hank Fraley. There you go. There's a pull. Gordy, you're on mute.
Yeah, Hank Fraley.
Oh, you're gonna say that.
A little slow on the trigger.
Kenny, what's your hot take?
Yes. Huff's gonna have 10 sacks.
Okay. Double-digit sacks for Huff.
Yes.
Like it.
I actually kind of like that. Actually, I don't really know if that's hot take. Like, is it hot?
Will
No,
he
the
do it
one-
within the
he-
scheme?
He better have 10 sacks, man. 10? Once
I
every
don't
2
know.
games? He better get to the quarterback once every 2 games.
Well, what do you have? What do you have last year?
He had 8.
11.5. I thought it was
They had
11
11 and a half.
We have varying opinions.
Let's check the
I'll look.
Google.
Check it. Somebody quick.
I'm
Kenny,
going.
check it.
He had 10.
Nah.
And he has 17 and a half. So I'll up it.
So Kenny's hot take is that I'll have the same number of sacks he had last year.
In a new scheme.
And I'm stupid.
Shouldn't he have?
Ouch.
Oh God, that's funny as shit.
I'm liking the Blankenship take more and more now.
Well, I have a hot take. Is that all you have, Kenny?
No, I got others. I think Shipley's going to be your a standout player. I really do. I think he's going to take over for Gainwell because it's time is over for Gainwell. We don't need to see him. Stinks. And I don't know if it's a surprise,
Which is hilarious because Kenny Gainwell used to be one of your favorite fucking players of all time.
because his name was the same.
Okay.
You got to rep the Kennys, all right? And then I don't know, like I don't know if it's a surprise, but like Jordan Davis is going to suck again, and I'm getting sick of it. That's a bust. More so than Nolan Smith. And the only reason how he doesn't get any flack is because he fucking traded for AJ Brown that night. They were like, they traded for AJ Brown and they took Jordan Davis. So that's my pick.
But who would you compare? What would you want Jordan Davis to be? Like, who would you want him to be?
I mean, he has 0 pressures on the quarterback, man. I mean, there has to be a way that you can sneak a pressure here and there.
He there?
know he's
but is he
That's
there
not
to
his
pressure?
game.
Is he there to
I
pressure
know,
the quarterback, or is he there to clog holes? Because that's what he's there
Correct.
for.
but he's not clogging at a fucking clip that's worth everyone
But he-
acting like he's like fucking good.
But he's only been in the he's only been in the league for 2 years.
And he's been overweight for both of them.
He's less weight this year.
All right, we'll see. But I'm telling you, he's not going to be any. They're going to fucking move on. I'm telling you. I promise you.
I don't
Kind
know.
of
See,
agreeing
I feel
with
like this is the year. This is the 3rd year. It's the all important 3rd year. And I really think that he's gonna be something in this scheme with Jordan Davis, with Jalen Carter. I really do.
So let me ask you. We're doing a quick trivia question here. In the 2022 NFL draft, the Eagles currently have on their roster 3 of the top 20 players. Who are they?
Wait, what year?
2022. I had to look it up, so I cheated.
Oh my God. That's really hard. That's a nasty question. So all right, so the Eagles have them.
One you should know, the other one you shouldn't.
Well, Jordan Davis, right?
Well,
We're not
two
talking
of the
about
three.
Dick-
Two
Okay.
of the three
Landon
you
Dick-
should know.
Landon Dickerson.
No.
Kenny Pickett.
Top 20 picks. Kenny Pickett.
Oh,
yes.
top 20 picks. Oh.
Yep. And the other one is new to the team.
Was Jahan Dotson that year too? Wow. So the Eagles have 3 top 20 picks from the 2022 draft. That's wild.
That's correct.
Top 20. I probably said top 20.
That is pretty wild. I didn't realize Jahan Dotson was that year. Damn, he's been out for that long. That's crazy. So, Kenny, is that it for you?
Yes.
So, I have a hot take, and I don't like it. I hate this hot take. But I think Dallas Goedert is a bust. I think that he is not elite, and I think that he is not good enough to be a TE1. And I think that this is the year that it exposes itself because Kellen Moore is actually good at using a tight end. And I think that this is the year. He's also injured a lot. And that's another reason why I don't like the tight end depth on this team is because I don't fully believe in Dallas Goedert. Unless somebody can even convince me otherwise. Because from what I've seen over the past few years and the injuries and I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. Not feeling
Went
it.
for 6 for 60 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right. He did. You know, I just I'm not feeling it.
I think he's a tight end 1. I just think the injuries make him a tight end not on the field. So
Yeah.
and
Now,
that's
your
the problem.
best ability is availability, right?
Yeah.
Been saying that for fucking ever.
Yep. And I just, you know, a guy who, you know, listen, he's been in the league for a long time now. He's a vet. He's been in the league for 6-7 years now. And I don't think he's ever played. I think he had one full season. I think he had one full season. I could look it up rather than guessing, but he's injured all the time. Let's be honest, right? Last year, he didn't miss as many games. Last year, he played 14 games. I just looked it up. He's just not impressive to me. He's not impressive.
He's not consistent.
Yeah, he's not consistent, and he disappears. Like he'll go games where he just doesn't. He's not even affecting the game. And is that because of the coordinator, or is that because of him? Well, I think that we'll find out this year that it's because of him, and I hope that I'm wrong. I really do.
The site I'm looking at right now says he has a 76.4% chance of getting injured this year, based on his past injuries.
Yeah, I mean,
And there goes Dave. Is it
Always
the
like
escape
Dave's
button
opinion.
again? What do we think?
Hey, get the fuck out of here, Dave.
Is that how injuries work? That like you could just calculate it based on previous injuries? I'm not sure if that's
I'm not putting
What's-
any stake into this, but it
What's
was just by a
Saquon's
quick
rate?
Google.
huh. Is it like the Google AI shit?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
I clicked on the first site that popped up.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Great research technique.
happened again.
Escape again?
How did it happen again? What is the last thing you guys heard me say?
You were talking afterwards?
I was
How'd you not notice?
because I'm
Great.
flipping. I'm flipping around through like fucking all these different tabs on my computer and shit. I didn't even.
Makes
I
sense,
wasn't
that
even
tracks.
looking.
Oh, are you a tab open guy? Are you like a 7 million tabs guy?
No, I like to do new windows so I can use the command tab and like flip between the different windows.
Okay, that's fair. I get that.
But anyway, what I was saying was he wasn't available for the 3 biggest games of the season: Kansas City, Buffalo, and San Francisco. And listen, you don't get to control when you're available. I totally get that, and you can't really hold that against him. That's fine. But I just feel like he didn't show up in the games where they needed him, and that's just how I feel. And we'll see. I mean, I don't know. He had no yards against New England last year. He had his biggest game was against the Rams. I mean, I don't know.
I remain concerned about the tight end position.
So I guess my thing is like, are the scraps that they're going to pick up, you know, from cuts, is that going to be good enough? Or is
Tight
Calcaterra
end
better?
one.
Is Calcaterra better than I think?
He can catch.
They
it.
love him for some reason.
You know, are we drafting a tight end next year? What are we doing?
It's gonna
I
be,
expected
Kyle
it this
Pitts.
year.
it's gonna be offensive line next year.
I think it has to be right.
The D back thing this year is gonna be the same for offensive lineman next year. I think.
Yeah, I think you're right too.
You gotta start looking for Lane Johnson's replacement.
So sidetrack. Atlanta is tied 4-4 with the Twins in the ninth inning. All right, so let's go to the schedule. We will go to the schedule and we will go roundtable record. And you can highlight losses and wins, whatever you want to do. I'm going to start with Joe Sparrow. So schedule 17 games. What do you got?
17 games. I have. How do I have here? 11-6.
11-6. Okay.
I'm opening them up with a loss. Home against Cleveland, at Cincy. I have them splitting with Dallas and Washington, and at Baltimore. These are my losses. It's an easier schedule compared to last year, but I think the defense is going to take a little bit between the youth and the new system to get their shit together. The Green Bay game, I could see them putting up 30, but they might get lit up the first game of the season. I could be wrong. Now Jordan Love's got tape on him, so I hope I'm wrong. But
so what's 11-6 get them? Does 11-6 win a division, or you think they're coming
11-6 wins the division? They win a playoff game. That's where my expectations are.
Okay.
I expect them to win the division. I expect them to win a playoff game. They should be able to get to the conference final at least. But if they win the division and a playoff game, it's not a waste of a year. My view is you got Green Bay, Detroit, San Fran. Some say the Rams. Am I terrified of any of those teams? No. This is all on paper, obviously.
Right.
They just have some tough road games like Cincy and Baltimore. Cleveland's early in the season. It's at home, but it's still early, so I can see them having trouble there.
The one thing they have an advantage there is that is after the bye. I mean, it's an early bye, but at least it's after the bye.
But that defense is pretty sick.
Yeah, it is.
And it could be the first game Nick Chubb comes back because I know he's on PUP.
So you got sweep Giants.
Sweep Giants, lose at Washington, lose at Dallas. They should at least have one home playoff game. I'm not afraid of anybody in the NFC South. Like I said, Packers, Lions, San Fran. Even though I'm not scared of them, especially without Ayuk.
That's probably it, right?
People should, I'm hearing high praise coming for LA, but I'm not afraid of them at all. It's theirs. They definitely have the talent on both sides of the ball and the coaching on both sides of the ball to make it to the Super Bowl and possibly win it. I'm not picking them to. I think they should get to the NFC Championship game, but as long as they win the division and win a playoff game,
I think that's a good season.
It won't be a complete, first season new coordinator, still a lot of youth. Then you get ready to grip and rip it the next year. But that's where I'm at so far.
11-6. Mike, where are you at?
I'm at 12-5. Lost against Green Bay. I have them losing at Tampa Bay just because it seems to always happen. Losing at Cincinnati, losing at Dallas, and losing at Baltimore. But I do have them winning 6 of their last 7, as opposed to last year where they dropped 6 of their last 7. So I do think they win the division. I do think they get a playoff game win, I hope. But I'm in agreement with Joe that I don't, I think it would be a successful season to see them go in, hopefully to the conference finals, but we'll see.
12-5 with a playoff game, most likely win. Yeah, I took a look at real quick before I go to Gordy. I took a look at the Dallas schedule, and the Dallas schedule is pretty much the same as the Eagles schedule, almost, give or take a couple games because they have to play some different teams because they won a division. They have San Francisco, which is a road game, but it's after the bye. It's after the bye. So
They're going to lose that game by 30 points.
I think you're right. 100%. They have Baltimore. Obviously, we also do have Baltimore, but they have Baltimore at home. They have to go to Pittsburgh. That's a weird game. Like they could lose that game, I feel like. They have to play Detroit. So they have a couple games in there that are different than the Eagles that they could possibly flounder. So it's going to be interesting. I think that so far it's on par. Gordy, where you fall?
Let me unmute there. So I'm going to be at 13-4.
Woo!
I've got a loss. This is going to sound kind of ridiculous, but either Green Bay or Atlanta. I think they drop one of those two. If they come out hot against Green Bay, they drop Atlanta. They shouldn't drop Atlanta, but Monday night, you never know. If they do not play well or they lose to Green Bay, even in a close game, I think they smash Atlanta. Their other losses, I have them pretty much winning until they go to Cincy. I have them losing that game just before Halloween. They'll drop probably their first Dallas game in Dallas and Baltimore. Those are my 4 losses. That's 4, right? Yeah, that's 4 losses.
Yep. And then what about like the playoffs?
Conference championship. They can get the NFC conference championship. And even if they do not get the win, if they play a good game, if you see Jalen Hurts actually reverting closer to what he was the Super Bowl year, and utilizing the weapons that they have, for me, that would be a very successful year, along with, actual coordinators coordinating stuff on both sides of the ball. Like if you got that, you got something. And then, you go and coordinators coordinate, you know what I mean? Pewters be Putin, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if they can do that, then I would be pretty happy with it, to be quite honest with you.
All right. 12-5. Jay.
No, 13-3, right? Or 13.
13-4. 13-4.
Sorry, 13-4. So we have an 11-6, a 12-5, and a 13-4.
You're not writing these down, Dave. Come on.
No, I'm not. I've had way too much Buffalo Trace at this point.
I'm going 11-6 as well. I'm going that way for very specific reasons. I think it's going to take a while for this team to get warmed up. I think you're going to see. Well, I'll give you the blow by blow here. I think by the bye they're 2-2. I think 4 games later they're 4-4. And I think that this is when everybody's jamming the panic button on, on the radio and whatnot. Probably on the.
So after the Jacksonville game in Week 9, they're 4-4, and everybody's like, "This team's not what we thought." Blah 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 blah. Well, yeah,
correct.
And then they go to Dallas.
Yeah, I think they win that game, and I think you see a 7-2 finish from them. I feel really confident that as this team gets closer to the end of the year, you're going to see, first of all, you're going to see the young players who are the cream of the crop playing. You're going to see the veteran at corner who sucks come down, and he's going to be replaced by a young corner. But yeah, you're going to see this team shake out in a way that that good teams shake out through the course of a football season. And so I have that 11-6 finish. You ask, I had to dig deep for where I think they're going to wind up as far as the playoffs go, because it was a long time ago, but there was a time where we weren't gifted with, franchise quarterback after franchise quarterback. And having a team that's this talented, look, I have my concerns about the tight end. I have some other concerns about offensive line, though I think they have some younger guys there that could pan out. Every team has some weaknesses. And I think if you look at the talent on this football team, I think it's in the top 3 or 4 teams in the league. And so if you ask me what's a successful season, I think you have to get to the Super Bowl. What happens in one game at the end of the year for the Super Bowl is pretty hard to predict, as we can all remember.
Sure.
But yeah, I think getting there has to be the goal.
You think they have? Well, okay. You're using the term goal, which I agree with you 100%. If they don't get to the Super Bowl, right? If they get to the championship game,
I won't be happy with it without a Super Bowl berth. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm not. So I'm gonna be happy with the season that they get a lot better throughout the course of the year. They have a franchise quarterback. By the way, they have an answer at offensive coordinator. And if he's an answer next year, then you're not reloading for the next year because your offensive coordinator is going to be the head coach somewhere else. So this whole we can't build. If Nick Sirianni was an offensive coordinator, we could build. When you have a team that's this talented and they have an opportunity to go win a Super Bowl, you have to do your best to go fucking do that. And yeah, I'm not going to accept less than getting there. You can't, no matter what Howie Roseman does, you can't guarantee a Super Bowl win. But I'm supposed to be happy with the season that they get to the NFC Championship game and lose to the 49ers. Not going to happen.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And I think this is kind of fucked up to say, but I kind of the hopes are really the wrong word, but I kind of think that if there is a flounder, if there is a postseason flop, right, and they lose a home playoff game or something crazy shit like that, I would not be surprised to see Nick Sirianni fired and to see Kellen Moore or Bill Belichick named head coach of this team. And I would be okay with either one, to be honest, because like you just said, and Kenny, I know, Kenny, you believe in this too. The CEO head coach, I fucking hate it. I hate it. I don't like it in college. I don't like it in pro. I just don't like it. I like a coach that has the mind and the influence, not only the mind to design and build, but the influence in game to make decisions and decide games. And I don't know if Nick Sirianni is that now anymore. I don't know.
Can I ask you a question on that? Because
yeah.
I think that I understand that Bill Belichick wasn't a CEO head coach, right? He was running the defense more or less. But he faced the same issue in New England that you would face in other places if you have a great offensive coordinator. In other words, that guy can leave
coached out here.
Right. And so I think to some extent now it's Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, so we really have to be careful with comparisons. But
obviously, yeah.
But I think there is some precedent that a CEO head coach can work. It's just not my preferred route. I think it's not the ideal route, probably.
But what? So are you saying Bill Belichick is a CEO coach or no?
Well, you don't want the most important side of the ball is offense, as hard as that is for me to admit. And losing your offensive coordinator is a problem. And Bill Belichick did that and didn't skip a beat. Now
Multiple times, right?
Yeah. Now you can make an argument that his offensive coordinator was playing quarterback, so you can make that argument. I'm just saying that I don't think it's impossible. And I really like Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be like a grizzled veteran, and I think he's going to be here for a long time. And I love him. So I'm not going to minimize what he can do. But
yeah, and that's like the last piece of the puzzle that I want to touch on before we wrap this thing up. So, Kenny, what do you got? What do you got for a record?
11-6.
And any specific reason or any like highlights inside there?
I'm kind of in the same boat as everyone else. I think they finished 13 through 17 just on a win streak. They always struggle with the fucking Saints. I don't understand. So like I think that's a guaranteed loss. And in the dome, they don't do well against them. They don't do well against the Ravens. The Bengals they struggle with. So like I feel like history's gonna kind of play out on those games. And the division, you always go. I mean, they always go really 1-1, right? You know what I mean? They always find a way to fucking lose. So that's kind of my thought process. And I'm with Jay too. I think they have to get to a Super Bowl, which again will hinge a lot on who Jalen Hurts is as a quarterback. Is he, elite, or is he just another guy? And
So, it's interesting. Do you think it hinges more on Hurts or more on the defense? Because the defense is young. Think about the amount of times that we've said the word young in this podcast, right?
I know. I just don't know. Hurts is such a weird case or character, right? Like he had one in 22 an elite year, and then last year he goes to like subpar, right? Like and it didn't always feel subpar, but like I don't know.
No,
how we always
see, like I don't think he was, and I think I think it's just because I think. Well, what are you saying? You're saying last year he was subpar?
I just don't think he was nearly as good as he was in 22. So, like, to me, that would be a subpar season to the way he was in 22. I don't think that's a crazy statement.
No, it's not. It's not.
So, I don't know what Hurts is. Is he a top 5 quarterback? Is he a top 15, top 20? I have no idea where to gauge him because, like you said, there are so many outside influences on how he is that it's hard to tell if this is it. I mean, like for me, like this should be the defining season. He's either going to be a top 10 or a bottom 20, not bottom 20, but a mid-tier quarterback, which is fine. You know what I mean? But he has to limit the turnovers. I mean,
but exterior, other, what's to say, like outside affecting him, whatever. I'm fucking fuggling on my words there. But he basically had a similar amount of touchdown passes year to year. Now, obviously in 2023, he played 2 more games than he did in 2022. So that's a factor, obviously. To only have 1 more touchdown pass, it didn't feel great last year.
I just felt like the Eagles made a decision very early on last year. We signed him. We need him to survive. You know what I mean? They just stopped running him for some weird reason. It was just a very weird season. And I'm not saying it's fair that I'm putting this like judgment on Hurts in the sense of, I mean, you guys saw his coordinators last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's the cards you're dealt, and you got to play them, right? So
yeah, and I'm curious to see how Kellen Moore treats him as a runner, right? Because you have Saquon Barkley now.
I know, and that's the thing. Can you imagine that option play though?
You have a bell cow. You've been playing too much College 25, which me too. Me too. Listen, I trust me. I'm all about the RPO, but like, I don't know. It's interesting to me because he went from rushing well over 700 yards to like barely breaching 600. And it was obvious. It was so obvious during the season last year.
And that 100 and some yards,
massive,
felt like 1,000 fucking yards. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%.
So
what's a successful season? You said 11 wins. You want a Super Bowl appearance?
I don't care. I'm with Jay 100%. They don't necessarily have to win it, but they got to get there. You know what I mean? This team is way too talented to be okay with what happened. And I often forget and I don't know how many people do forget this, that AJ Brown didn't play against the Bucs in the playoffs, right? And I tend to honestly, I just thought about this, and like maybe that I fucking caught that bug, bitch.
Fucking Miyagi.
I tend to,
Yeah.
I tend to think about like, I think they might have won that game with AJ Brown. I really do. Now they would have got fucking smacked anywhere else after that. Like they weren't going to Detroit and winning that game.
No.
But I think AJ Brown absolutely beats a Baker Mayfield led team.
Dude, they were a shell of a football team at that point. They
I
were
understand that.
dead. They were dead because Darius Slay ruined the locker room. Okay, anyway.
What did they go? What did they go? 5 1 they went 1-5 and down the stretch, right? 1-5 in the last 6. Oh God, that's disgusting.
With so many opportunities to just win a fucking meaningless game.
And one of
To
those
lock
was
up
one of
everything.
those was to fucking Jonathan Gannon. Anyway, so for me, record, I'm actually with you. I'm 11-6, and I have multiple reasons, but a large one is I'm always influenced by, not influenced, but it's definitely a factor of my thought process when I look at the Vegas situation. Vegas has the Eagles at 10.5 wins. I think that they will fall above 10.5 wins. I think going much above 10.5 is crazy because Vegas is usually pretty fucking good. And I did the schedule first, and then I looked up the win total and saw that it was 10.5. I felt much better about my 11, but listen, who knows? We're all taking guesses right now, but I actually think that they're going to go 0-2 to start the season. I think they're going to lose that game in Brazil, and I think they're going to lose against Atlanta and Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins isn't washed up. Atlanta sucks, but
Do
it's
they?
just, well, okay, that's a good point, right? Like it's a
They
game.
made some moves.
They did. It's a game they shouldn't lose, in my opinion, but I think they will.
Their
And-
coaches are better too. That's not
Yeah.
a bad football team this year.
So like that first
Wait,
game,
who's the head coach?
I don't know. I just remember thinking that.
Raheem Morris, or what the fuck is his name?
yeah. Yeah, I know that's right, isn't it?
I think it is. I know his
Yeah.
first name's Raheem.
No, it's Kevin O'Connell.
No, that's Vikings.
That's Vikings.
Oh, right, because I typed in Vikings. Yeah, that makes sense.
That'll happen, right? No,
I'm pretty sure it's Raheem.
No, it's Raheem
It
Morris.
is. It's Raheem Morris. It is.
So I'm not ready to say that their coaching staff is better. That guy-
Stop.
Fucking stop.
Week 1 is a toss up, right? It's in Brazil. Who the fuck knows? Like, it's a weird environment. What is this team?
You're okay if they lose week 1. You know what I mean? Like it's okay if they lose week 1. It's a weird fucking game. It's
Totally.
in
Totally.
Brazil. It's fucked up.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Home against Atlanta, that should not be a loss, but I feel like it is. But
Well, you're gonna find out.
So Zach Robinson is the offensive coordinator, who is a disciple of Sean, fucking whatever, from LA.
Sean McVay.
Sean
yeah.
Payton.
McVay.
McVay. Okay, yeah. So, he was the passing game coordinator, right? Before he went there.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I just, something about that Atlanta game. It's not a trap. Like it's ridiculous to say it's a trap game. It's in week 2, but it's Kirk Cousins. It's a retooled Atlanta. It's a new regime in Atlanta. I don't know. I don't feel good about that game. I think they go 0-2, and then I actually think they win the next 2, so they end up 2-2. But I think along the similar lines of Jay, like I think that they're gonna like dink and dunk their way through the season, and they're gonna be 500 a lot of the way, and then they're gonna just rip them off. I think they're gonna split with Dallas though. I think Dallas is a split. I don't see how they sweep Dallas, especially considering the second one is in week 17 or whatever. I think that's a split. So yeah, I'm 11-6, and I too think that a conference title is necessary, especially considering, first of all, you consider how long Hurts has been in this league. We expect him to keep taking steps. He's already been to a Super Bowl, so the playoff thing is not a consideration. You have now a more tenured offensive coordinator, the most tenured offensive coordinator that he's ever worked with in the NFL. You have another tenured defensive coordinator. These guys should be able to put something together that goes deep in the playoffs. And if it doesn't, I have problems. If it doesn't, I have problems. And I don't think 11-6 doesn't get you a bye. So you're playing maybe one home playoff game, and then you're relying on like upsets to get more home playoff games. But at the end of the day, I think that they need to prove themselves. They need to go on the road and win a tough game in San Francisco, or they need to go on the road and win a tough game in Detroit. With this team, with this firepower, they should be able to score 30 in a playoff game and win. So that's what I'm looking for. Whether or not it happens probably really hinges on injuries at the end of the day, right? Let's be honest. Like, win totals mean shit if Hurts gets injured. But you know, barring injuries, I think that this is an 11-12 win team. Should be, if you look at the schedule. It should be interesting to see how it plays out. So Hurts is really the last big thing that I wanted to touch on before we wrap this thing up. Do you guys on a whole, like, I'll let you guys talk real fast, each of you, because we're getting deep on this thing, but Hurts as a whole, like, do you guys trust Hurts? Is Hurts your guy? Are you hitched? Joe says yes. Mike says yes. Gordy?
Hitched for now.
Gordy needs to see. He's got a prenup in his hand. Jay, what about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty much hitched permanently. I think he's the guy.
Jay's hitched. Kenny? This is the year?
I didn't see it this year.
This is the year. I think I'm good with Hurts. I'm in. I think he's shown that he can win games here, and the dude has had a different coaching staff every season, and he's had that throughout his whole career, in college and in the pros, and the dude just keeps performing, which is fucking crazy, really, if you think about it. Obviously he got benched in Alabama, blah 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 blah, you know, whatever, but.
And he's gonna have to do it again next year after someone else takes Kellen Moore. So,
You think it's gonna happen in 1 year?
yeah,
The better if they go to the Super Bowl, sure.
If they go to the Super Bowl, yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
hopefully Kellen Moore waits till after the Super Bowl to leave.
Oh, you mean it's not a good idea to interview with other teams while you're preparing for a Super Bowl? Oh,
The Cardinals of all teams.
oh, okay, yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, yeah.
Duly
You
noted.
need as more zero blitz. I need to see answers against
Zero blitz, yeah.
zero blitz.
Oh, the last thing we need to touch on, and I know obviously everyone's opinion, but Nick Wright. Nick Wright said the Eagles. He didn't throw out a record, I noticed. But he said the Eagles would not make the playoffs. He said the Eagles would finish third in their division behind the Cowboys and the Commanders. And he said that they would fire Nick Sirianni mid-season. Thoughts?
Nick wrong.
Nick wrong, am I right? I mean,
The Eagles could win 9 games without a coaching staff.
is there what? All right, let's just. Nick is a complete dumbass, by the way. Let's just take it from this angle, right?
Sirianni or Wright?
What would have to happen? What would have to happen for Nick Sirianni to get fired mid-season?
Nothing, because they don't do that. The Eagles don't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he doesn't. He's right. He does. They don't do that. That's
Like
not,
if they go,
Yeah.
like if they go 0-4,
He'd have to
before the
point
bye-
up to Jerry Jones in the booth and be like, "Fuck yeah."
if they go 0-4 before the bye, does he get fired?
No.
I
No.
don't
They
think
don't
so.
do it.
No.
No, yeah, no.
I don't think so either. So, like, at that point, right? If you're 0-4 before the bye, which is fucking horrific, if that happens, he still doesn't get fired. I agree. At that point, there's no way you're firing him. What the fuck for what?
To have an interim head coach that's going to leave to go somewhere else.
Unless you give it to Kellen Moore.
They're
He's
not
finishing
giving the
up the
keys
year
to
as
Kellen
coach,
Moore.
no matter what. Yeah.
He's staying.
That's a wild take, is it not? I mean, come on. Like that, like these guys say some crazy shit, but that is fucking crazy, dude.
This dude's a moron.
Whatever they want to do to get views, they can do whatever they want.
But it's not.
That's true.
It's not unconceivable to see them finish like second in the fucking division. That's
He
fine.
said third.
You know what I mean? Like, I know that's what I mean. Like,
Oh,
you're just taking it too far. Like, it's an okay point to be like, they had an end of the season collapse. They look like shit in the playoffs. We're new coordinators. What does Nick do? You know, I could do his job, but like, here we are. And then he just goes, but the Commanders are going to be fucking better.
Yeah,
Like,
by the way,
the
the
fuck?
Giants catching fucking strays. The Giants.
Yeah, dude. Giants just fucking basement dwellers. Like no matter what, like no, you guys can't do anything. That's where you are now. That's it.
He didn't want to be completely ridiculous.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
Yeah.
I will end it with this. The Phillies will win the NFC or the NFC.
East.
The, the Phillies will win the division by 10 plus games.
Yes, sir.
Love it.
The vibes are back, boys. I'm feeling it.
Yes, sir.
Play the song.
I sent Mike a text. Or did I tell you in person?
I mean, so way back, like in the beginning of the season, we both had
Same
it
time.
accurate same
Yeah.
time. But you told me Saturday.
Yeah, I saw something, man, on Friday night. I don't know what it was. The team clicked and they started to like have fun again. And ever since then, they've been fucking legit. So I think they're back, man. Kenny, you were down there. You were down there yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Me too.
Mike was there too. Did you get that bobblehead?
No, it was, dude. So first off, they changed the giveaways now. They don't just give them all out. You have to
What?
have a special ticket to get the giveaway.
What?
Nah, I think that was just for last
Willy
night.
Wonka style?
I went Trey Turner.
You need a golden
bobblehead.
ticket?
I went Trey Turner bobblehead giveaway, and they were giving them out to everyone. So I think because it was like Star Wars night last night or whatever.
Yeah, let's go.
There's fucking dweebs walking down the fucking ramp with like 8 of them. You got to stick him in your ass and break his head off in you.
Was anybody wearing like Chewbacca fucking costume?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, everyone. It was.
Love it.
That's fucking great. But I think the Phils are back, boys. I think the Phils
Yes,
are back.
sir.
I think we're
Do
going
the
to
Braves lose?
Oh, let me check. I think we're going to be getting together for some Phillies playoff games. Let me just put it that way. No, the Braves are winning.
8-4.
Whit Merrifield went 0-6. So
Wait.
Well, I told you 2 months ago, buddy. It's baseball season until you say it's not. All right, so you let us know.
So Jay, do you want to join us on the Penn State podcast?
Yeah, sure.
I know my brother Ronnie was chomping at the bit to get in here and call James Franklin a piece of shit. So he'll be in here. Gordy,
The problem is he's a piece of shit that can recruit. So
I know he can. It's a fucking
Yeah.
problem, right? Joe
He
Sparrow,
can recruit.
you are a nemesis now because you're a Duck fan. So
Go Ducks.
go Ducks. I mean, they have joined the Big Ten, and it's going to be interesting to see. I haven't checked out the Oregon schedule, but what's that schedule look like? Are they playing Michigan?
No.
Or are they playing Ohio State?
No, Ohio State. There's one brutal stretch.
So who's Michigan playing?
No
Oh,
one,
dude.
because they're about to lose all their fucking wins.
Well, yeah, they're going to lose everything. Oregon's actually playing Ohio State that weekend where everybody's like, that's like the 4 good game weekend, Kenny.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
Penn
I know.
State's playing
Loaded.
USC, Oregon's playing Ohio State. It's like that weekend.
Oh, they do play.
yeah.
They're at Michigan. They are at Michigan.
Oregon plays Michigan the same day that Penn State plays Ohio State. That's going to be a good day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what it was.
The Big Ten has arrived. And Mike, you are going to get indoctrinated into college football hood. Mike has
We'll see
never
about
Mike
that.
has never really spent too much time in college football, which I totally understand. There's way too many fucking teams going up.
I'd have so much more money. It's college.
Gordy had a great idea, and I've talked about this with Gordy too a couple times. The relegation model would work well in college football, and I think we're moving toward, like one or two, like two or three maybe power conferences, which we basically already have, and relegate in and out of those conferences to make like the real deal. I think that's coming.
I think you're out of your mind. There's no
I mean,
way.
they've already done it.
Money.
They haven't relegated.
No, they haven't relegated. No.
They'll never
Much
go
cash.
for that. But it would be a great thing if they did. If you really want the best teams every year,
It would also be a great thing if they canceled the transfer portal, because it's the worst thing that has ever happened to college football.
All right, Dabo.
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, if you're going to spend all this time recruiting a dude and then he comes and then he fucking
Then you
bounces,
should own him, because fuck that guy. What are we talking about, man?
I just,
You ever you get to a place and you're like, I fucking hate it here. I don't want to be here for 4 years. You're just going to be like,
Every day of my life. Every
bad.
day of my life.
You're on the plantation. We own you now.
let's not
Like, what the fuck
let's
are
not
you
kid
talking
ourselves.
about, bro?
Let's not kid ourselves. They don't stay there for 4 years, Jay. You know that.
I mean,
Two.
It's two. It's
because of
two
the
and out.
transfer portal.
It's two and out. I hope all those credits transfer from fucking Clemson to fucking Colorado when you go start safety because you want to play every fucking down. It's stupid. So dumb.
Communications.
Transfer portal is trash, bro.
I hope it stays because that's the only way Oregon gets their quarterbacks.
Yeah. Well, we will talk about that, Joe. I know that you had college football. We'll have a college football sesh, and I know Jake would probably like to be in on that too. So Kenny, we have to pull Jake out of dadhood,
Purgatory,
and get him in here. Lots of shit to talk about with college football. But hey, we went almost 2 hours. We went almost 2 hours on this thing. It was a blast as always. The Eagles Roundtable 4.0 is coming to a conclusion. Do you have any final parting words, people?
Check out the Patreon for the fantasy football draft race order.
So Joe Sparrow saw there was this video going around. I'm sure everybody saw it now by now. They did their draft order by sprint times. That would be a fucking.
And at least two of them pulled muscles.
Oh yeah, the one dude was legit fucking limping at the end, dude.
You saw it. You saw his hand.
That hammy is gone.
He did the reach. The reach where you're just like, yeah.
So all 6 of us are in, right? So we're gonna be looking for 4 more.
Cody's in.
So we're looking for 3 more. We'll do a 10. If we can find 12, we'll do 12. But a lot of these people on Twitter are fugazi. So we'll see.
We can convince a couple of those asshole Cowboys fans to get in on this and just fucking mollywop the shit out of them the whole time.
That'd be so great.
Slam the rules and just fuck.
So there's actually a dude who wants to come on this podcast next week and talk about the Packers. So do we want to let him in?
I mean, why don't you get the vibes? We'll all watch next week. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So the draft, guys, just so y'all know, the draft is looking at next Wednesday night, around 7:00. Online draft, 1 minute picks. Draft will be over in like an hour, so it'll be quick.
Sounds good.
All right, guys.
Can't do 7. It's my kid's bedtime. What do you want me to do? I can't do bedtime.
My kid's bedtime is 8. What do you want me to do?
Then push it to 9. I don't know.
Joe, what time do your kids go to bed?
Youngest is 7:30. Oldest is 8:30.
First off, I don't even want to fucking do it. So if you want me there, you'll do it at 7:30.
All right, Kenny. What time do you want? What time do you want? 8.
7:30 is fine.
Let's do 8.
7:30. All right, 8.
Let's just be careful. 8:00. 8:00 for now. We'll text. We'll talk about it. We'll tweet about it. We'll be looking for 3 more lucky participants. Kenny, make sure that you contact Cody. Let him know that he's in. And
Wednesday.
maybe we can get Trevor in here. Maybe we get Trevor in the fucking.
Are we gonna do it live? Are we
Um,
like draft and talk shit at the same time? That's what
we
should do.
we could try that. We could try that. Kenny, can you record on Wednesday night? I love doing logistics during the podcast. Let's wrap it up.
Probably more than likely. Yeah.
Okay, it's been great. I love you. Buy something from Manscaped. We don't see the money. It's okay. It helps something. Well, we're using a platform for free, so let's talk about that. Okay. Goodbye.
Bye, fellas.
Later.
Play.
Peace out.
Hey,
Go
don't hang
Birds.
up. Don't hang up, you fuckers. Okay, go Birds.